Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brittany of BrittanyJJones.com. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the channel. I hope that you will like what you see and subscribe below for more. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 3 patterns from the new Simplicity collection that I think are easy to sew and also great for those of you that are not brand new to sewing, and so you want maybe a little push, or maybe you're ready to learn a new skill. I think these patterns are going to be great, and they are all top patterns, so they're going to be fantastic for spring and summer. So let's get into it. The first pattern that I think would be great for beginners that, again, ready to start a new skill would be Simplicity 9951. I think this is going to be a really great and nice pattern for spring and summer. I picked this one because this pattern has some gathers in it. So gathers is always a great thing to learn if you're new to sewing, but it also has some loops in here. And sometimes loops can be kind of tricky if you don't know how to turn them. And this is where you can purchase a loop turner. This little loop turner right here is an affordable tool. You can find it in your craft stores as well as online, and it's just fantastic for turning loops out that are really small, like spaghetti strap type loops. This would be great for this. And so that's one reason why I picked this pattern, because it has that little challenge of turning out loops, which is going to be fantastic. Once you learn how to do it, it's a fantastic skill to learn, because you always have to turn something out. It may not be super fine spaghetti straps, but just having that tool and knowing how to turn things out would be fantastic. And again, you have the whole gathers here, another skill that you may already know, but attaching it to a top may be something new. But again, just having a cute little top for spring and summer, I think would be fantastic for beginners. Another reason why I picked this one is because the pattern pieces. I've shared this all with you before. If you are new to sewing and you're learning to sew with patterns, it's best to keep the pattern numbers as low as possible. You do not want to get a pattern that has 15 pattern pieces, 20 pattern pieces. That can be really overwhelming when you're first starting to sew. So my rule of thumb is no more than 5 pieces, unless the 6th pattern piece is like an elastic guide piece, which you're not really cutting that out of fabric, or like a buttonhole guide. It's just a guide. You don't need to do anything with it other than, use it as a guide. But my rule of thumb for fabric pieces is no more than 5 when you're just starting out. So that's another thing that I always want you to look for. So let's take a look at how many pattern pieces Simplicity 9951 has. If you don't know where to look for the pattern pieces, this is like the main cover of your instructional guide piece. On the back of it, it has the number and all the pattern pieces listed out and what they are. And for this one, it's 4 pieces total. That is fantastic if you're just starting out. Now, these are some pretty big pieces, because it looks like pattern piece number 1 is the front and the back. So that's something to keep in mind. And then you have kind of this ruffle thing for the lower front. So these are some big pattern pieces, but still you only have 4 to cut out. And so I think that is great for a beginner. So again, Simplicity 9951 is a new pattern from the Simplicity Summer collection. It is easy to sew. They have it rated as an easy pattern. And I do think it'd be fantastic for like a confident beginner that's ready to maybe move a little bit further from just doing gathers. Maybe you want some loops. Maybe you want a cute top. I think this would be a great one to start with. Next up from that same Summer Simplicity collection, this is Simplicity 9953. This is another cute little top. I think this would be fantastic with a pair of jeans or some crop jeans, or with some sandals or something like that for spring and summer. Maybe even some shorts if you prefer that. But this is just another cute little top. Again, it's easy to sew. They have it rated as easy. The reason I picked this one here for a beginner that's ready to do a little bit more in their sewing is because, one, you probably already have been doing elastic casings, and this looks like an elastic case that's going around the bust. So you may be familiar with that already. But again, if you haven't done any kind of spaghetti strap, turning around the loops, doing those kind of things, this pattern has that again. So that's another technique that you can practice. And I also like the different options on this pattern. If you want to get fancy, you can add a little ruffle here on view A to the sleeve and kind of test your skills with that. But you can also just sew it straight as is. You don't have to add the little bow that it has on the front. You can play around with your fabric. If you have a nice little embroidered edge, you can play around with that with the placement on how you cut your fabric out. So it's just a few more things that you can just kind of practice. Again, maybe you've just been doing front and back tops or easy pull-on maxi skirts, and you just kind of want to bump it up a little bit. This is not a big jump. It's just a cute little bump up, just I'm already doing the elastic guide. Now let me practice some ties, So I think this would be fantastic. Again, it's great for summer. It's a cute little top. Let's check out the pattern pieces here. Okay, total pattern pieces is 10, but let's just say we go with view C. View C doesn't have the tie along the front and it doesn't have the ruffle on the shoulder. So if you go with view C, you have the front, the back, the elastic guide, the shoulder strap, and the loop. 5 pattern pieces, and one of them is an elastic guide. So, I mean, come on. Cute little top. Another reason this one stuck out to me, because like I said, if you want to do something a little bit, you know, you want to bump it up a little bit, this one has the bra sliders. That's cute, right? You have a little adjustable slider on the strap. You can practice that. That's a fantastic technique to learn. So I love this pattern. Again, it's not a big jump. You're not sewing in zippers. You're not attaching pockets. You're just kind of going up one step. You're playing around with the loop turner, learning how to flip things right side out. Then you put a little slider on it. I love that. I love that. So again, it's just a little step up from, you know, what you may have been doing. If you're ready to kind of take it up a notch and try some new things, I think Simplicity 9953 is a great pattern for a beginner. The last pattern that I'm going to share is Simplicity 9952. I love this one because it's just such a classic, right? You may look at this and go, whoa, that's a button-up shirt. It is a button-up shirt, but it's listed as easy to sew. It's kind of oversized, so it's a really nice, relaxed style. You don't have to worry about getting the fit perfect. You're not worrying about any darts on this top. It's just a nice little oversized button-up top. And I'm really looking at view A for the beginner. I'm not worried about view B and C because those have sleeves on it and sleeve tabs. Those are extra little steps that we really don't got to get into right now. Right now, I'm focused on view A, and I think view A is a great pattern. Again, if you're ready to bump up and learn a little bit more if you are a beginner. So let's take a look at the pattern pieces. Okay, it's a total of 8 pattern pieces here. Let's look at view A. View A, you have the front, the back, the neckband, the collar, and the guide for the buttonholes. So that one don't even count, okay? It doesn't count. 4 pattern pieces to make a nice oversized button-up top for spring and summer. Again, I like this one because it's oversized. You don't have all the darts. You don't have to worry about the fitting. It's a nice oversized top that you can wear with some jeans. You can wear with skirts, some trousers, whatever you like for spring and summer. I think this would be a fantastic pattern. And in addition to what you're going to be learning, like a little bump up, you're going to play around with collars. You can do that. We can totally do that. I have lots of videos on my YouTube channel that has collar installs using patterns. You can literally, I think I have a button up. I'll put it right here. I have a sew along for a button up top on my YouTube channel right now, and I install a collar there. You can follow along with that, just a little piece of that video to attach this collar onto this top. And then we're going to install some buttons, which I know can be a little overwhelming for a beginner, but trust me, once you get the hang of it, once you practice, which I do recommend practicing on scrap fabric, and you want to practice the buttonhole the way the fabric is. So if your fabric is folded and interfaced, you want to have your little scrap piece folded and interfaced. That way you have that same thickness as you're practicing your buttonhole as you would be while you are sewing it onto your garment. It just helps because sometimes if you're doing a buttonhole on just one piece of single layer fabric, it just don't come out right because buttonholes, they need that interfacing. So just make sure that you have it folded and interfaced the way it would be when you get ready to put them onto your top. So again, we're just doing collars, buttons, and buttonholes. And I know I say it like, it's just. I know it can be very intimidating if you haven't done it before, but it is a great step up if you've already mastered kind of your elastic casing garments, your pull-on garments, your front and back tops, and you're ready for just something else. This would be great for that, just to practice, just to challenge yourself. Let me go over all the notions. It's just buttons. You're either going to have 6 buttons for view A or 8 buttons for view B and C, which again, I'm not really recommending view B and C for this pattern because it has the sleeves on it, and I'm trying to keep it under, you know, my recommended 5 pattern pieces. So I do think view A would be fantastic to try out if you are an advanced, confident beginner that's ready to up your skills with some new techniques. I didn't mention the other notions on these patterns, so I do want to go back. That way you know exactly if you're interested what you're going to be needing. So for Simplicity 9953, so for view A, B, and C, and I'm not really recommending view A because it does have a little bit more going on. It has like a ruffle along the sleeve. We're not doing any of that unless you want to. But let's just focus on view B and view C. So you will need some 3/8 of an inch wide elastic, and you will also need a pair of bra sliders and the rings, and those come in a pack together. And then for view C, you need wide lace trim, which If you don't want to do the trim, you can just cut out view B and be done with that. But view C is a little bit shorter than view B. That's why it has the trim, but that's optional. You don't have to add trim to your top. So those are the notions. Again, you have elastic, which you're probably already familiar with if you've been sewing. And then you have the bra sliders that may be new. So go ahead and grab that and challenge yourself with this pattern. And for the first one, the notions for 9951, you need 1 package of single fold bias tape. So if you never worked with bias tape, that could be a fun challenge for you. And then for view A, you need purchase trim. So we're not even gonna deal with view A. So you can just focus on getting your single fold bias tape. I'm so excited for you. Well, that is all for the video, and I really do hope that I've inspired you, if you are a beginner sewer, to kind of look for a pattern that has something new that can really elevate your skill and technique. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to go from sewing a maxi skirt to sewing a gown. There's so much more in the middle and in between those garments for you to learn and just really master before you get to that next step. So I really do hope that this video has been encouraging. And if you didn't like all the tops, I hope maybe one of them was kind of your style and that maybe you are inspired to kind of take it up and learn something new this spring and summer. Well, that is all. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Blessings, everyone. Bye.